Before a buyer ever enters your house over that threshold, believe it or not, they've already pulled those comps. They know your price range, they know what your neighbor got. So if the numbers don't line up, they don't even start the negotiating process. But the biggest mistake I see Minneapolis sellers make is believing a seller's market means buyers will overlook the price. After more than 25 years in this market and selling more than 3,700 homes across the Twin Cities, let me show you why the opposite is true and how the right number can actually net you more. So here's what I'm seeing every week when I sit down with sellers at their kitchen table. They have one phrase locked in their head. It's a seller's market. Look, I get it. Inventory is tight. Prices have held. Desirable homes are still pulling multiple offers. So the thinking goes, great, I can name my price. That's the one spot where this gets tricky. The Twin Cities are sitting right around 2.5 months of supply. A balanced market is closer to 5 or 6 months. So yes, sellers still have the edge. But here's the part sellers need to hear. Inventory is up from a year ago. Buyers have more to choose from than they did 12 months back. If they're priced correctly, that's the thing. Good homes sell fast if they are priced correctly. The market still favors sellers, however, but it also rewards the ones who price their homes right. A seller's market has never meant buyers drop their standards. Buyers today are sharp. They've got the same tools that we do, and they're using them more than ever before, especially they're using them before they schedule their showing. So when your price matches the data, they lean in and they look at the home in person. That's why well-priced homes are winning and overpriced homes are waiting and sitting on the bench. Both are happening in the same market on the same street. And there's one more piece. Buyers are checking their monthly payment before they ever call an agent. They're running the math at around a 6.5% interest rate. So if the numbers are off, they may never walk through the door. The good news, however, when the price is right, that same math works in your favor. Let me walk you through what happens the moment your listing goes live, because that window is where the magic is. So real quick, however, if selling in the Twin Cities is even on your radar this year, Brooke and I do this every day. Pricing, timing, and preparation. There's a form in the description right down below. So fill it out and we'll set up a strategy call. Okay, let's walk through that first week on the market. Most sellers picture pricing like a negotiation. List it a little high, come down a titch, and meet in the middle. That's not how the first week works. Your listing has the most power on the market in the first 7 days. The moment you hit the market, Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com push your home to the top of the search. They fire off buyer alert emails to everyone with a saved search that matches your home, including your price range. So when you price inside that range, you land in hundreds of inboxes on the very first day. Price it above, and those same buyers never get that email alert. Now here's the part you can use to your advantage. Buyers in this market, they're committed. Research shows they spend around 10 weeks searching, touring around 8 homes before they buy. So they know instantly when the price is right, and then they move on it. The well-priced homes are still going fast, often in the first week or two. The ones that sit almost always are the overpriced ones. Here's why that matters. After 3 to 4 weeks with no offers, every buyer on every app can see how long it's been listed. The question in their head shifts from, should I make an offer, to what am I missing here? So the price gets cut, but that cut doesn't reset the clock, and it doesn't bring back the buyers who have already moved on. Price it right on day one, and you skip that whole entire problem. Let me show you what it's costing while a home sits on the market. Every extra month a home sits, money quietly leaves your pocket. Here in Minnesota, property taxes climbed about 7% this year. Homeowners insurance is up close to 40% since 2018. Together, taxes and insurance are a real chunk of what it costs to own a home each month. So every extra month on the market is another full round of that. Another mortgage payment, another tax bill, another insurance payment, another month of utilities. It all keeps adding up. I'll show you the exact comp window to price from a little later. It's not 6 months and it's not the Zestimate. Here's the pattern that I see again and again. The homes that sat past 50 days almost always had price drops from where they started. We're talking sellers who have come down $30,000, $40,000, sometimes $75,000. So starting too high didn't just cost them at the final negotiation. They paid months of carrying costs. Their position softened, and their inspection requests, well, those got a lot tougher too, because buyers could tell they were motivated. The net at the end came in lower than if they had priced it right from day one. One more piece worth knowing. Buyer demand is steady, but it's measured. So there's no guarantee a fresh wave of buyers is lined up waiting for your price cut. The buyers who would have loved your home may have already bought something else. The Twin Cities spring selling window runs from late February through May. Price your home wrong in March, spend 90 days chasing the market, and you can slide right past it. The flip side is the fun part. So let's talk about that. The magic that comes with the right price. Picture this. Your home goes live on Monday morning. By Wednesday, you've had 8 showings. By Sunday, you've got multiple offers that are sitting on the table. That's the right price doing its job. The second a well-priced home hits the market, it triggers buyer alerts for everyone searching that range. It lands near the top of all of the portals. It gets saved, shared, and scheduled fast. But buyers who've been hunting for months know it the moment the price matches the comps. They also know other people are seeing it too, so they move fast. That urgency creates competition, and competition pushes the final purchase price up. Here's the part though that people miss. A lower starting price does not mean a lower sales price. Pricing right in the heart of recent comps, or just a touch below, is what creates the competition. It pulls in every buyer searching in that range. They see it, they know it's priced right, and they push each other. The final number usually lands at or above asking price. Compare that to a home listed too high. Light traffic, 60 days on the market, a price cut, months of carrying costs, and a tougher negotiation. Sometimes it sells for a similar number, but the path, the stress, the timeline, and the net after all those carrying costs are nowhere near the same. Let me give you an example. We had a client last year that was adamant that they wanted to price the home at the Zestimate. And Zestimates, my friends, are almost fantasy land. They are not a real actual number. You should never use a Zestimate. And we ended up listing probably $100,000 too high on that house. The good news is that we had an average days on market with the comparable homes of only 10 days. And because of that, we hit that 10 days twice, which was unfortunate for them, but we ended up selling that house. But here's the unfortunate part. If they would have just gone with what a real estate professional had recommended them to go with, I am confident that they would have netted more money than they would have if they went with the Zestimate. How to price it right. Most sellers walk into the pricing conversation with a number already in their head. Maybe it's what a neighbor got, Maybe it's a Zestimate from that morning. Maybe it's what the market felt like a couple of years ago. None of those tell you what a buyer is willing to pay for your home. Here's the thing about an online estimate. That algorithm has never walked through your home. It has never smelt your home. It has never seen how beautiful it is. It is just an algorithm that looks at averages. It doesn't know about your updated kitchen, your new roof, or how your lot compares to the one down the street. It can start the conversation. It should never set the price. Same with what your neighbor sold for a few years back. That was a different market. Pricing off old data is pricing for conditions that don't currently exist. So what earns you the top of the comp range? Well, it's kitchens or bathroom updates in the last 5 to 7 years. Updated mechanicals with no big repairs waiting at the first showing. Then presentation, professional photos, cleaning, staging, strong curb appeal. You have to do them all. That mix supports pricing at the top of what the comps allow. Now hear this part. Nothing justifies pricing above those comp ranges. Buyers are running their payment at 6.5% before they ever book a showing. They're not going to overpay because the market feels like it should give more. The portals run on price limits. A home price just above a round number can miss every buyer whose search caps right there. The small gap can be the difference between a week full of showings and almost none. So price for where the market is, not where you wish it were. Let's bring all this together because the good news is real. The bottom line, correctly priced homes are still getting multiple offers and closing at or above asking. The one thing standing between you and that outcome is the number you put for the listing price. One more thing, for the first time since 2018, more people moved to Minnesota from other states than left. If you want to know who your buyer is and where they're coming from, that's exactly what we break down in the video right here. So if you're thinking about selling and you want to know exactly where your home stands, fill out the form in that description down below and book a strategy call with us. We'll pull the comps and walk you through the pricing window and give you a straight, honest answer. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video and at the next home.